Welcome to Section 420, Talkin Yankees, the podcast. Well, I had to throw my 2 cents in over these comments that, Clay Holmes is no Mariano Rivera. And, of course, this comes off the Yankee road trip where they take the first 3 games against the Royals there, all losing in the final game there, but then have a late comeback in the 8th inning there, take the lead, but then, of course, Clay Holmes blows it there in the 9th, which would have been an awesome win there, and again, to cap off a 4-game sweep against the Kansas City Royals. But unfortunately, just because that kind of little nagging loss there, there was all these comments going online, well, Clay Holmes, he's no Mariano Rivera there, so I find the whole thing just dumb, so I have to get into it because it's so silly. Obviously Mariano Rivera is in a class of his own there, and Clay Holmes isn't garbage. He's having a good season. Okay, blew that game there, but nevertheless, fans kind of have to get their head together a little bit. So I'll kind of give my little 2 cents on that. But before we get started, make sure you subscribe to this podcast, Section 420 Talkin Yankees, the podcast. This is why you want to be a podcast subscriber. Get my little takes on things such as this as we go along through this season. But let's get back to the matter at hand here, and that is the situation with Clay Holmes as the Yankee closer. And just one more little side note, as you may know, there's also the YouTube version of the show, Section 420 Talkin Yankees. So after this, make sure you subscribe to this audio podcast and go over YouTube as well and subscribe there. So of course, yes, it would have been an awesome win there for the Yankees. You take the first 3 games, you almost okay with the loss there a little bit. It's a Thursday afternoon game, it's a travel game. Okay, you get it. You're just trying to get out of town and get to the airport. You know that. Yankees are kind of flat there. Nesta not exactly terrible, but not exactly the sharpest there. Losing 2-0. And of all people, Anthony Rizzo has been struggling a little bit. And in the latest YouTube episode, I actually got it kind of getting on him. Hits a big home run to kind of get the Yankee offense started there, and they put a little rally together. And of course, Soto puts the Yankees ahead, a go-ahead hit there. Gets thrown out at second there, which, kind of sloppy there because maybe the Yankees would be able to attack on there and they would have not lost this game. But nevertheless, he was drawn out at second, and eventually the Yankees, though, would bring a 3-2 lead into the bottom knife. And then, of course, Clay Holmes comes on, gets the first out there, but then a little sloppy, misplays a ground ball, which, again, we've seen this a couple times for Clay Holmes. Not exactly Mike Mussina, not exactly Greg Maddux there with the Gold Gloves, feeling the ball there as a pitcher there. And we've seen this, again, a couple of seasons for Clay Holmes. And eventually a game-winning double does him in there, and then Kansas City walks off for them a thrilling 4-3 win to avoid the sweep. And again, it would have been a great win for the Yankees just because they were kind of sleepwalking the whole afternoon there, and just, in the 8th inning, get it going there. It would have been, again, a really good win. But I think fans have all kind of reacted then after you saw these comments like, well, Clay Holmes, he's no Mariano Rivera, which the whole thing's kind of dumb. But first, we got to break all this stuff down a little bit. Number one, look, Clay Holmes is having a good season. Now, if you want to go back to previous episodes, I was okay with him starting the season off as the closer just to see what he got there. But I think he's more than well earned his way as being the Yankee de facto closer no matter what. Unless he goes on some long streak of just blowing games and being terrible there. He is the Yankee closer. He's doing a good job. He's earned it this season. I know last season a little up and down a little bit. The season before that, it was also, had a good first half and a bad second half there in 2022. But again, overall, Clay Holmes has been consistently good this season. I know he makes you sweat a little bit once in a while, and we all know for Clay Holmes, again, not exactly the greatest, fielding pitcher out there, but he has been getting the job done. So to really just call him out on the carpet just for one, blown save there, which, again, even though it would have been a cool win there, I don't think it's called for. And then kind of put comparisons to Mariano, even say, well, he's no Mariano, stuff like that. I think all of that's just all silly. And we'll just, go over Clay Holmes' stats for this season. So right now he's 1-2, so win-loss record. But you'll see a lot of times it closes, because a lot of times if they blow the game, they end up losing the game. That's what happened in this particular situation. So you don't look at the record that much. But overall, his ERA 1.80. So he's pitching to an ERA under 2 there, which is pretty dominant and pretty high up there in the league. If you look at a lot of the elite closers there, was in 31 games so far this season, 30 innings pitched, which, again, as a closer, you figured he's going to pitch in, not more than an inning there. So in that 30 innings, 19 saves, which is 3rd in the league right now. Again, that's all of baseball. And 29 strikeouts in the 30 innings there. So it's pretty dominating stuff for him. Now, yes, he does have 4 blown saves, but he's not the only person there. He's actually tied with 7 other pitchers for those 4 blown saves. So he's not exactly the only closer that has blown saves there. In fact, he's tied with Edward Diaz, who got demoted by the Mets. And he's kind of an elite closer who the Mets gave like $100 million to there. So, again, he's not like the only closer that's blown games this season, and there's a good handful of pitchers that have even blown 5 games who've done even worse than him there. So come on, Clay Holmes, for this one loss there, and he can kind of shrug shrug him off as like, well, he's good, but he's no Mariano Rivera. That's just all kind of silly there. And we all know Mariano, yes, he's in a class of his own. He's a first ballot, unanimous Hall of Famer. And not only owns the all-time record for saves there, but of course we know his dominance in the postseason as well. Got the 5 World Series rings with the Yankees. And of course, he's blew with 2 big spots there. Of course, we all know the 2001 World Series there. And then, of course, the 2004 Game 4 against Boston. But overall, just, an immaculate career there. But to even, bring him up as comparisons like that, it's like, well, he's okay, but he's no Mariano. I think it's just silly there. Look, he blew a game. I know Yankee fans are disappointed there, but I think this is being a little bit spoiled there. This team's doing great. I mean, they've, basically with 1 or 2 games away from being 30 games over 500, which is quite dominant. Season's doing well right now, and you don't even have Garrett Cole yet in the starting rotation. You don't have Jason Dominguez yet in the lineup, which maybe will happen towards later in the year because Cole will come before Dominguez. But things are going very good for the Yankees, and for whatever problems they do have, Clay Holmes is not really high on the list of problems. He's very low. It's not like he's blown a bunch of games. It's been here and there a little bit, okay, but you're going to get that with any closer there. And just to even bring up Mariano's is kind of silly. So I just don't think it's fair for Clay Holmes there to even mention any of that. And the Yankees have had other closers since Mariano Rivera. We've had David Robinson. We had Rafael Soriano in there as a closer. He did a decent job. Now, the team wasn't really good that year, so it didn't really matter. It's not like they went to the postseason or anything. But we've had other closers other than Mariano Rivera, and they all pretty much, more or less, have done a decent job there. And Clay Holmes, again, even though he makes you sweat once in a while when the stuff is a little funky there, but again, overall, I think he's earned a job this season. It's his job. He's the closer, and again, he's done all right there. So no need to get on him for this one blown save. And I think it says Yankee fans is being a little bit spoiled there, where they were on a good streak. Dodgers were a little bump in the road there, but again, it was a good homestand overall. Then you go on the road, you kind of blow the doors off the handle on the Royals, kind of the first 3 games there, and then you have a situation where you're thinking to lose the game, you come back to life, you have it right there, you got the lead 3-2, and you really want to close that thing down. But again, you're not going to win every game. Not everything's going to go well there. And look, he just blew the game. Okay, and again, it was mainly because he bobbled that one ball there, which maybe if it was a clean ground ball, maybe it would have gone to one of the infielders and it would have been an easy out. Then you're looking at 2 outs and he probably gets the 3rd out, and not even talking about any of this there. So it's a game of inches, it's luck, it's chance, all that stuff there. But overall, Clay Holmes has been doing a good job for the Yankees this season. So I just thought the whole thing, if you didn't bring Mariano Rivera's name up over 1 blown save, was just kind of silly there. And if you want to look at Mariano Rivera, just going back for his whole career, so he had 732 save opportunities, so we know he's got over 600 there, but out of these 732 save opportunities, he did blow 80 of them. So basically, if we do the math there, that works out for every 10 save opportunities, he locked down 9 of them, and he blew 1. So look, even Mariano Rivera, people, once in a while, blown a save. I've seen plenty of them, whether it's going to the game, watching the game on TV. We know some of the postseason moments I just mentioned before there. So the idea that Mariano saved every single game he went out there, that's not exactly the case there. So, he had a great career, we all know that, but even Mariano blew games once in a while. So for Clay Holmes to blow one once in a while, it's not the end of the world. Now, if he blows 3 in a row and he's out of whack a little bit, he's walking people, it looks terrible, all right, then you may want to get on him a little bit. But right now, overall, he's done a good job for the Yankees, so didn't even bring up Mariano Rivera. The whole thing was kind of silly, so had to throw in with that there. And if you just look at other pitchers in the league, and they also blow games a little bit. And now we're going to come up, whether a month or two, as we talk about the trade deadline. Should we add some arms in the bullpen? You'll probably see a bullpen move 1 and 2, and then that's kind of just the way it is there. Now, as for a closer there, do the Yankees need another closer? I don't think it's detrimental. I mean, is Cashman going to make some phone calls? Possibly, but it's not like the back end of the bullpen's been a problem with them this season. It has not been at all there. So even if he blows one once in a while, he's okay with it. I'm okay with it if they end up going Holmes the rest of the way. Now, look, the postseason is a different beast. We've seen Holmes, a little small sampling, 22 there. I don't think it's enough to really, say, oh no, he could handle the postseason, yes or no. But we've seen some really, Hall of Fame type pitchers like Trevor Hoffman, for example. Go back to 1998 against the Yankees there. Well, they got to him. I mean, it's a Hall of Fame pitcher, but they got to him. And we've seen other, marquee closers. Want to go back against the Yankees again? 1996, Mark Wohlers for the Braves. Again, one of the best closers in the game. And of course, we know Jim Leyritz got to him. So, even Mariano Rivera, 2001, 2005. So even someone's a de facto great closer, a good closer, you could still have them blow up in the postseason. So, Clay Holmes could go have a great regular season, get into the postseason there. He could be very good, or he could blow a game 2 in a big spot. We just don't don't know yet. I mean, it's kind of uncharted territory, but the way he's pitched, at least up to this point this season, I would still say he should be the Yankee closer the rest of the way. And then once we get into the postseason, of course, we don't know how anyone's going to perform there. And again, it's all uncharted territory. And you could have someone who's someone like Mariano Rivera, top of his game, looking good. 2001 World Series. The Yankees got the lead in the ninth inning, and he's a little wild a little bit. He gets touched up a little bit. And then you get a bad infield play by Scott Brosius and Derek Jeter there. And then it could all just fall off there. So, again, a lot of this is kind of silly there. So I just thought the whole thing was just nonsense, even bringing Mariano Rivera's name up. And Clay Holmes doesn't deserve that. He's had a good season for the Yankees, and I think he'll just carry on from there. But we'll see what Cashman does at the trade deadline. Does he fully believe in Clay Holmes? Probably overall. Would he like to get maybe someone like Emmanuel Clase? But I don't think someone like the Guardians is going to give him up there. So other than that, I don't know how he's really going to improve and get a little bit better at that. Because look at some of the other closers in the leagues, and there's no one that's astronomically better than him. Maybe you could find someone that could be a little bit better than him, but no one where you say like, oh my God, you have to get him, because if you get him, the Yankees are going to win the World Series there. So no one out there is like drastically that much better than him there. And we've even seen the Yankees get to Emmanuel Clase even this season there. So even for his 100 miles per hour fastball a little bit, even he's not exactly Superman as well there. So that's the episode. That's my little rant on that there. So I needed to defend Clay Holmes a little bit and maybe calm Yankee fans down, stop being spoiled. You can't win every single little game there. I know we'd like to do that, like to sweep every series, but it's not going to happen. And once in a while, Clay Holmes is probably going to blow a game. And, and in defense of him, the Yankees are losing 2-0 there. I know they'll put a little rally there, to get the lead there. He probably wasn't even expecting to pitch in this game. And maybe before you know it, all right, you got to go up there and warm up like that. So who knows where his head was at when he even went in there. But nevertheless, that was the situation. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast, Section 420, Talkin Yankees. Get these little takes like this, little season wraps up and other cool stuff. And of course, as mentioned before, go to YouTube, Section 420, Talkin Yankees. Get the visual version of the show. We'll catch you next time.